Rock Solid MUZKAST Experience. Aaron, Dave, no Patrick, no Jermaine today.
ADP in the house.
Yeah.
They'll join the show later.
Yeah. Shocker.
Shocker. Yes.
Never on time. Didn't those guys suggest this time to start recording?
I don't know.
I think they were, and they haven't made it once.
Yeah. We're our guests all the way from Georgia today. How you say the name? I don't want to screw it up.
That's okay. Motivik.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure myself.
A lot of people say Motivik. I
That's
usually
how-
don't correct them, but Motivik is kind of the
You
way
know,
to
that's
say
like people calling me Dave, but I don't correct them to David.
it. Yeah.
It's
I
like,
get called
not
Ron
worth
or Brian a lot. So I'm Ryan.
All right. So
how'd you come up with the name first? I mean,
So this was back in 2020 during the whole pandemic thing. So I was kind of looking, I was already writing, so I was looking at names and things, and kind of in music, there's what we call motifs. They're kind of what we would, in metal call riffs. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to have this kind of a dualistic name where it's building off riffs and motifs in music, but it also has roots in the word motive, like motivated. So it's kind of a dualistic thing.
and say the name one more time because I don't want to mispronounce it.
That's okay. Motivik.
Motivik. All right. Because I was totally going to call it Motivik.
Yeah.
And I was
do.
still going to go, well, what's that about?
That sounds cool too. So we don't usually correct them.
You should have an album called Moto-Vic. Motivik.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I was clarifying on social media a couple years ago. I just put a picture of Mo from The Simpsons, a cup of tea, and Michael Vick, a picture of Michael Vick. So Motivik.
There you go. That's an
sounded
easy
out.
way to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like that old game show, Concentration. You remember that, Aaron?
Oh yeah.
Concentration, where they flip over the tiles and you had to figure out the crazy puzzle that was behind it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Used to love that show as a kid. So Brian, ha. See, I got him. Brian.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, it's Ryan and Courtney from Georgia. Now you guys, we were talking to you a little bit about Jermaine. You guys aren't familiar with Jermaine out there in Tricord in Georgia. I take it.
I'm not,
All right.
unfortunately,
so,
but
yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to know
Hopefully
him.
he'll show up and we can.
Yeah. We'll see if he shows
that
up. He's known
mystery
for
out.
being late. So, I know
he's late, but always on time.
I don't want to speak for him, but I know they're working on some big gig out there or something like that. You really should talk to him. Anyhow, so I love this story of how you guys got together and then did Motivik. Let's start at the beginning though. Where'd you all get together?
Yeah.
Well, I was probably 14 at the time when Ryan and I first met. We met at really not far from here, a local church. We were both in the youth group there. I went to a public high school, probably 3 or 4 miles, maybe 6 miles away from where he and the rest of the band went. Jason Weaver, the guy he's kind of our spiritual mentor in the band, makes guest appearances on every album. He is my cousin, and so he met some guys at school that were into kind of the old school Christian metal stuff that he and I were into, and before too long he introduced me to them at a youth group. And that to my recollection, that was a long time ago, but Ryan is very good with remembering things and numbers. I'm sure he's going to correct half of what I just said, but
No, it's roughly right. It's roughly right.
We were very young.
So-
I remember the first time we recorded our first demo. We drove down into Alpharetta, and Ryan drove us because I think you might have been the only one with a driver's license at the time. Certainly the only one.
He's got a
Certainly
fake
the
ID.
Yeah, with a car. So yeah, that we've known each other for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah,
for
this
sure.
year will be about 30 years because it was 1993. Yeah, I was 15, almost 16. And yeah, it was pretty much, we hit it off. We talked, I wasn't aware. I mean, I was aware of metal, of course, but I wasn't aware of like Christian metal. I wasn't really sure, other than Striper, right?
Right.
So yeah, these guys introduced me to, like, some of those early ones like Tourniquet, Vengeance Rising, Deliverance. So that blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, so yeah.
Help me out here. Help me out here. It's like 93, right? And no, not everybody has a cell phone or anything like that. So what you guys are you guys meeting each other out on the streets as you're just, riding bikes around town, or are you in the youth group together? Or because it didn't sound like you were going to school together.
Well, the schools, there's in this county, there were at the time about 4 schools, and we were on the west side. He was kind of on the central side. And so our youth group then was huge. I mean, it was probably a couple hundred students.
One of the larger churches around, if not the largest.
Yeah. So every Wednesday, Sunday, we were together. And then, so we were in contact. We'd get together on the weekends, usually a Sunday afternoon, we'd be practicing, by 1 or 2 o'clock, various locations.
As time went on and we were driving and we had jobs and we had, means, we established a practice space and we were very, very diligent. It was the same time every Sunday afternoon, and we started at the same time and ended at the same time.
It's pretty much like everybody practiced on your own during the week.
Did that for many, many years.
And then we'd kind of,
piece it all together on Sundays.
Yeah, piece it together on Sundays, pretty much. Yeah, so it was a blast. And so during the high school years for me, I graduated in 96, and so during those years, and you're 97, right? We started playing, and like I said in the bio, or it says in the bio, I mean, it'd be churches, it'd be clubs, some festivals, all kinds of stuff. So it was a fun time.
Wherever there was a stage, you were on it.
Yeah, and sometimes one person out there, hey, cheering us on.
We
Sometimes
actually put on a few festivals.
Yeah.
At a local ranch here, and invited a bunch of bands to come in.
Nice.
2 or 3 years in a row there. And it grew up to.
It got pretty big.
Yeah, several hundred people with about 7 or 8 bands at one time.
So mom and dad were pretty supportive of this whole venture.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like big fans of the music per se, but I mean, my mom, she would refer to it as growling music, She's like, what are you doing, that growling music? But she still gave me some money to go towards the first demo. So
that's cool.
Supportive.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's cool. So now you're doing this rigorous rehearsal schedule where you're rehearsing on your own, each day, each week, but on Sundays you're all getting together for an hour or 2, whatever it is. You ever get just tired of it? I mean, you're going to be your early 20s at that point. And I remember me in my early 20s, man, I was, you could capture my attention with any shiny object. So, did it become grueling to the point of, what am I doing this for? Or, I just don't want to, I don't feel like it today or any of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it depends on, some Sundays were great. We try to, have a time of prayer and try to keep things like focused that way for us. And, but, being teenagers, late teenagers, whatever it was, things could go south, things go south. Drumstick goes flying in the air, or, kick an amp when I keep messing up the same part over and over. You're human, you're a kid, but you're learning. I mean, for me, a lot of people don't like to practice, but I love to practice. I always have. And so, I loved it because I felt like it was the culmination. And when they were on, I mean, it was on, and when it was off, it was off.
But we hung out together all the time.
Yeah, we did. We were a family, pretty much. We were brothers. And so we could yell at
and we were at a show watching somebody else. I mean, we were always together. And that was up until
98.
I would say up until 20s, 19, 20. And we lucked out and we had a place to go that was kind of a private, kind of a home that one of our guys had. And so we just hung out there. Our girlfriends that now we're all married to, honestly,
pretty much
were there with us. And it was more of I don't know. It wasn't laborious in any way. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we went there to hang out. That was our Sunday, probably 1 o'clock until 6 or 7 at night.
Yeah.
So the
Hey, towards
girlfriends,
the-
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, yeah, towards our practices would go late. You know, a lot of times we would skip and go to church because it was night church at the time. But usually towards the end of practice, we'd either feel really good or miserable because school was the next day.
Mhm.
So
I feel that way now about work.
I know, right? That's what it was.
It's like,
So-
it's Sunday.
Uh-huh. Like,
Yeah, tomorrow's Monday.
But
Well, so getting together that often, I mean, I'm going to try to paint a picture, I think is what I'm going to do with this is you're in your late teens, early 20s. And at that point, there's nothing better than hanging out with your buddies every day. I mean, that's a
Right.
good life, right?
Yep.
I happen to know that if I had to hang out with Aaron every day now, we'd probably be at each other's throats. So, you know, we go to shows. We're going to a show tonight. You come over, you record, we talk during the week, but I don't want to hang out with him every day. I want to hang out with any one of my friends every day. Okay.
Yeah,
How do
Dave,
you,
as you can tell, Dave's a people person.
yeah, I'm a total people person.
I feel the love. I feel the love.
Anyhow, hey, I always said I survived COVID, not because I took the vaccine or wore a mask, but it was just simply I didn't like people. So I thought keeping a 6-foot distance at Walmart was a really good idea. Anyhow, what I'm getting at though is, did you feel any tension at that time, spending that much time together? And I know you got these fun times, but as years go on, it becomes more of a job and less of the fun times, just like I did in radio. So did you ever feel that at a point that your relationships were becoming stressed and maybe that was putting an impact on the music?
I would say here's how I'd answer that. I would say the times where we were getting frustrated or bored, we changed our style.
That is very true. That is a great point.
So
that
I
had
think
forgotten.
yeah, I mean, we
Yes.
would we
That is
stop.
very
We would
true.
stop. I remember a few times we stopped for a few months and we came back as a ska band.
real,
I know. Yeah.
I
didn't put
love
that in-
ska. What are you talking
know,
about?
I know.
I'm waiting to
But-
hear Motivik ska. Could you do that album for me?
That's you just blew the top secret that I have for 2024.
That is very true, Ron. I never thought.
That's really what
didn't
happened.
put all that
And
together that way,
I'll
but-
say it even more specifically. It stemmed from our drummer a lot because he would get bored and be like, he'd drive the ship as far as style. But it was fun though. I mean, because we did that for a little while, played that middle festival as
Yeah,
that,
yeah. we did.
as Bionic
And loved
7.
it.
We had
yeah, we
tubas
closed out
and
the night and had a huge
saxophone.
crowd.
And
What was the
and
name of the group?
we called it Bionic 7. We had 7 people
Bionic
in-
7.
We actually had a tuba player. I don't know of any ska bands that had
Yeah,
a
I don't
tuba.
know if any, you know, I went and saw, it was a festival. It was a ska punk festival. They still do it, called Punk and Drublic. It's No Effects puts it on. And
Okay.
they had Goldfinger on this, and they had Flogging Molly, and I'm trying to think of the other, Less Than Jake. I
Okay.
fell in
Yeah.
love with, I fell in love with Less Than Jake when I saw him.
Yeah.
I'd listened to him before. And I was like, they're okay. But when I saw him, I became a fan. But they made a joke or a comment that all these other ska bands that were on this festival had fired their horn section in like the late 90s, early 2000s, because ska wasn't big anymore.
Yeah.
And they had to loan their horn section to every other band that was playing that night because they didn't have
That's
a horn section.
hilarious. And this time, I mean, I would say the pinnacle of the ska movement was 97.
Yeah.
And that's exactly when
That's it,
when we jumped on it, because you had the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones that hit. I mean, they didn't hit just, they've been out a long time, but
Hey,
like
let
their single.
let me ask you something. I've got a
Yeah.
question. It's been burning for a long time, not just for you. You're just
it
the
out.
target in this one.
That's okay. Let it out.
I feel that Mighty Mighty Boss Tones as a ska band is severely overrated.
Yeah.
I don't think they deserve the accolades they get. Do you agree?
Yeah. I don't think they were near as good as Less Than Jake.
Oh, Less Than Jake was fantastic. And you're talking about like Madness and the Specials. I mean, what made the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones so palatable for pop radio? I don't know.
It was an interesting time.
They did have that one album
That's the one. Yeah, that was the one.
Pretty popular.
I like one. Yeah, I like one song. I like the impression that I get. I've listened to the albums.
Yes.
I've wanted to like them. I just can't get into them.
Yeah.
I'm so far removed from ska at this point. I'd have to go back and refresh
Well,
my memory.
I like
Shame
their
on
other
you.
albums better.
I
Shame
know,
on
right?
you. You know,
I hopped on in
ska-
'97 and jumped right back off.
ska is all love, man, and it's just your buddies are waiting for you to put that disc in.
Actually, I in 2002 I played with a band that opened for Five Iron Frenzy, and I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, from Colorado.
Yeah, they were
Yep.
great. They
Yeah,
were great. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
they
saw
were
them back in
signed
the
to a
day,
label
too.
near here. There was a label in the Bay Area they were signed to. So
Yeah.
every once in a while, at an obligation to play the Bay Area,
you know what?
they would come and
You
they
know
were
what
really
just
good.
you know what just hit me because I was thinking the OC Supertones. There's like 12 people in that band or something, right?
There's a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Okay, you're a ska
Yeah.
band in the late 90s. You're not a huge name. You're probably commanding at the most $2,500 a show, and you'd probably be considered pretty lucky at $2,500.
That's
And
pretty
then you
good now.
gotta split it between 12 people. There ain't
Yeah,
no
you
money
each
to
get
be
like
made.
$18.60 per person.
And they played everywhere. They were
Yeah,
them and MXPX were the face of Tooth and Nail Records at the time.
Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure.
And they were playing everywhere, and Tooth and Nail was sending them out to play the small towns in South Dakota. But they got a huge following.
Yeah.
You know, they were
Yeah.
playing huge, and I saw them 2 or 3 times. They were great.
Well, I do
Yeah.
love that you had a tuba in your ska band,
Well, you can't just have a bass player. You need a tuba so they can
Yeah.
step all over each other.
right? Didn't even
It was
think
great.
about
it. It was a good time.
didn't even
It
think
was a
about
fun
that.
time.
But
I
it
mean,
didn't last long.
it didn't last
6
long, but
months.
I think what that was is a good palate cleanser for
Mm.
that time period. We had a good time. We dressed different. We did that whole thing, and then we got back to our roots
I
and
see.
finished up by spring of '98 with our last gig.
So when the boy bands got popular in 2000, you didn't just like
We were out before then. Yeah.
Could
So-
totally see Courtney dancing, man.
We moved into more of a rapcore thing. Towards the end.
Yeah. Towards the end, we had more of.
Mhm.
I think we were listening to a lot of Rage Against the Machine. Also like Everyday Life,
POD.
POD. That was early. So we were shifting style. I'd say in the early mid '90s, we were more like thrash hardcore ish.
So, with all these different genres that you're tapping into,
Yep.
do you just kind of? It sounds like to me you just kind of like, I'm in a thrash metal type of mood. I guess the next album's going to be thrash metal. That's what I'm doing. Oh, no, I'm in a ska mood now. Next one's ska.
I think at that time it kind of was. I mean, and now what reflects in Motivik is that we do that song to song, or in a song,
Yeah.
things move around. And so we try to tell a story using all the palette, like the colors in the musical palette, to do it in a try to do it in a tasteful way.
So when I always wonder this about bands. I've asked a few bands when you're starting out,
Mhm.
and the always fashionably late Jermaine Nixon from Tricord. Welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
Hey, Jermaine,
Hey,
What's up, guys?
how's it going?
Good. How are y'all? Excited.
Good. Are you in
to-
Georgia?
I am. You guys are in Atlanta. I'm in South Georgia, near Savannah.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
That's cool.
See, I thought you
Yeah,
were in
we're,
north.
we're just
but-
north of Atlanta. a
Yeah,
little
we're
bit.
in the Brazelton area right now.
Cool.
So now when you guys are starting out, are you y'all just in love with thrash metal, or I mean, I guess that would be the best label to put on it at that time, right?
Back
Thrash.
then, you're talking about back
Yeah,
then.
which
Yeah.
time starting out?
I think
Well,
back
it-
then I mean, we liked it, but we liked a lot of stuff still back then too, but all heavy. So
Yeah, so-
and I think even back then, I don't think I segmented it so much in my head. Like,
Yeah,
this is a
well,
thrash
it's far
song.
more fractured and labeled, today than it was back then.
yeah,
But what I'm getting at here is trying to figure out the best way to put it into words, Aaron, which is, were you let's just say you were doing thrash metal in 93. Okay. That's the
We
one.
were.
And is it because you were listening to a lot and you went, you know, I want to do that, or I think I can do that better? Or is it just like, you know what, I'm kind of more into hard rock, but I sound pretty good on this thrash metal stuff. I'll do this.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So were we in line with what we were listening to,
Yeah.
basically?
Yes. Very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah, we were. I mean, I was listening to a lot of Tourniquet, Sacrament, Betrayal, Metallica,
Metallica, Testament.
Megadeth.
So a lot
It
of
was
dark stuff.
Yeah, it was like
Mhm.
fast and heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, but around 93, 94, Tooth and Nail, they started launching some of the stuff like Focused, and Unashamed, and some of those hardcore bands, which we liked the attitude in that too. So I think at 16, 17, you're not, at least for me, I wasn't thinking, I just wanted to be fast, heavy, and sometimes not fast, but always heavy, so you'd have chunky sections and
Yeah.
groove sections, and in music, I really like dynamics. I like crescendos and decrescendos where it moves, and humans we're very
I don't-
emotional.
I don't remember what song it was because I just put the album on and listened to it this morning. But you got one song that covers like 3 or 4 different genres of music in one song.
Yeah,
like,
it's probably Inception.
It is.
Okay, there was like rap in there, it was new metal, there was trash, and whoever does the guitar solo, I should have been more prepared for this, Aaron. Whoever does the guitar solo in this song, where the guitar solo is really kind of slow and everything, and then it works in not thrash. Is that you, Courtney? Did you do that?
No, Ryan.
That's
is,
you, Ryan. Because it
he
had
is
kind of a
very good,
classic
so
rock
he does it all.
Well, it's kind of
guitar
like
solo to it, and then it
it's
just
like
was a
yeah,
wall.
I kind of wanted that's a reflection point in that song, thematically, and so it has like a Gilmore kind of feel from Pink Floyd,
Yes,
Right.
That's our
and
point.
then it's like, just like humans can just erupt with emotion, it hits, and it just catches everybody off guard. So that's what it's.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it caught my ear because of that classic rock kind of Gilmore thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see where you were going with it. And then it struck me as like a early to mid 90s thrash kind of eruption.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's an eruption.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna take a break here and come back. We're gonna play Harbinger of
Harbinger.
Harbinger. Okay. Of Demise. Can you
Can you say the name of the what song?
no. You-
Harbinger of my demise,
what's
right?
that- yeah, what's that song
Harbinger of
about?
Demise.
Harbinger of demise.
And what's that song about?
Yeah, that song is really it's the bonus track on the vinyl release that just released on Rocks. And what it's about really is just the warning signs, the warnings of what, of somebody on a path to a bad place. I identified it as like, when you see a crow or something, that's a harbinger, it's a sign of something. But this is just, there's signs in your life if you're going down a bad path, what could be drugs or whatever. There's signs of demise, and so it's a cry or call to recognize that.
All right.
Great.
Harbinger of Demise on Rock Salt Musecast Experience. Rock Salt Musecast Experience. Aaron, Dave, Patrick, and Jermaine.
Woo woo.
It's ADP, mate.
ADPJ.
80PJ.
ADPJ, mate.
Hey, we need to get a B in there.
Yeah.
80PBJ.
Yeah. and the band from Georgia.
It's a little band from Georgia.
Yeah, I'm not gonna butcher the name. Go ahead.
Motivik.
Motivik.
Motivik, you got it.
Yeah.
That is it.
That's why you did radio for 17 years and I did not.
That studio audience was for me, not for them, because I got the name right.
Yes.
And I
Nobody
remembered
heard
it.
your studio audience again. Hey,
Ah.
Motivik, did you guys hear the studio audience?
I did not. I did
Oh.
not.
No, it's
It'll be in the podcast.
yeah. Well, it'll be there.
Fortunately for you guys, I stream your podcast. So I know the studio audience.
Fortunately for us, Aaron,
Yes.
Jermaine listens.
Patrick doesn't. That's why I said that.
Oh, I know. I had some nasty things I was going to say in the text, but then I decided not to.
Hey, look here, and I'm sure the guys from Motivik can agree. I don't even listen to my own music because I can't stand the sound of my own voice when it's
Right.
recorded. So I'm not going to sit around and listen to me bump my gums for an hour either. So
Hey, that's a good
Yeah.
question, Motivik. Do you guys listen to your own stuff? Do you get in the car and put on your own stuff for fun?
Not for fun. I mean, I mixed the record too, so I've heard it all.
So you're really tired of it.
I wrote it, recorded it, mixed it. I know it, but I listen to it for, like, I'll check it against a song or a level or that kind of thing. But it's, that's
See,
mostly-
I've found that a lot. I found that a lot where musicians go, no, usually I'll only listen to my stuff when we're about to go on tour again or do a show, and I want to just brush up or something like that. But yeah, typically the answer is, I worked on it so much, I've heard it so much, I don't want to hear it anymore. Another person's recollection was, there's so many memories that the band itself has tied to those songs that we all have as listeners different memories tied to those songs. So the memories for the band may be much worse than the memories we have as the listeners, and you just hate that song.
Yeah, I can't say that in particular, but I can think of memories that are attached to some of those on that album. Yeah. I listened to it all the way through the other day, only because we got the vinyls in, and I sat down and listened to it, and I wanted to see specifically how Harbinger fit the theme, where the label placed it. But that was it. That's I think I've listened to the record. It's been out maybe 2 years.
It came out in December 2020.
I think I've listened to it maybe 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you played
Preach
it
brother.
300 or 400 times.
I mean, it's taken a while to work through it all. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I've listened to it way more than.
That record is, that was done during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Really. I mean, it started I started writing it in 2019, but really the majority of the recording and mixing it was during shutdown. So there's a lot of memories tied with, I was working from home at the time. So there was a lot of, that tied with that. So,
Yeah.
but good stuff, I'm very happy with it.
You mentioned the placement of the song on the album. Do you guys put a lot of thought into the flow of the album or where you want songs positioned on an album?
Totally.
Yes,
Totally.
absolutely.
Matter
What's
of fact,
the thought process?
Well, let me go back to this vinyl release. So the original didn't have Harbinger. I think they really wanted to put it at the end and put the label bonus track. It maybe marketing wise that looks better, but it didn't sit well with me just because it doesn't thematically and musically fit. That last song has to be the last song the way I wrote it. It's a ballad. So I didn't want the ballad to fade out and then we get right back into a heavy song. So,
and that song pulls the whole record together too.
it kind of does. Like there's a lot of
Weird to
things.
add something to the end of that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's weird, the process. Everybody's different. Every artist is different, how they write, how they feel. We're very emotional creatures. We're usually romantics in some way. I don't mean like romance, but I mean like everything's tied to stuff and feelings and things, and it kind of paints that way, so.
How's that go for you, Patrick? You don't strike me as the romantic type.
Buddy, I fell in love all over again when I on the live stream. Listen at you, pal.
Now you have a new album coming out the summertime of 2023.
Yep.
Have you already put the songs together, how they're gonna flow on the album?
Yeah, so it is the list is there. I've recorded about 80% of it so far. And so I'm actually taking off in a few weeks, and I'm just locking myself down here to do final tracks. It's all, placeholders right now. So go back, do final tracking, get my drummer probably early March.
Lock
track
him
his
into?
parts. Yeah. Yeah, not in here. No, no.
Okay.
He's
I
actually in,
was
he's
like,
in
where are
South
you going
America.
with this, Aaron?
So I used to
We
study.
need to get the dump tracks
Yeah.
done.
Come on over to Georgia. You need to lock yourself in in my basement with me.
Puts the lotion on the skin. It drums on the drums when it gets the hose.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the order's there. We haven't announced the official title yet. We will soon, but yeah, I'm really happy. We have some pretty well-known guests that are going to be guesting on it, which is going to be fun. So
Do you have a title for the new album?
We
Or it's
do.
like you guys are going tug of war on. No, we name it this, name it that.
no, the tug of war was the last 2 years after, we released the others. So we've
Hey.
had several working titles, but this has been nailed down probably 6 months, and it's what it is.
Idea guy here. When you do a greatest hits, call it Tug of War.
There it is.
There you see? Tug
Done.
of War, Volume 1.
Gotta have hits to be great first.
That's right.
We'll work our way there.
That's right.
No, you don't. You only have to fulfill that contract.
That's right. That's right. funny.
I'm just making jokes.
No, you can always tell when a band's done with their contract. They just have a greatest hits album.
There's a
with
greatest hits album. You're,
2 new songs.
yeah, you're like,
Oh, they're done.
Yeah.
no more with that label. But now you're the second band we've had on from Rox Records. The first one was, help me, Aaron.
Weapons of God.
Weapons of God. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to. I wasn't confident. And they sound like cool people over there. I like your story of how Rox Records found you.
Yeah. I guess that's my.
Well,
cue
tell
to tell you.
Patrick all about it because he could use some help.
No, it's cool. Yeah. So basically, 2020 had the record pretty much done. It hadn't been mastered yet. And Rob Caldwell, Bombworks Sound, he mastered our record. He's awesome. He masters a lot of stuff. And so anyway, this was before that. So I was just, on some of these forums, like, how do we get some traction? Why would anybody care? Kind of thing. So I put a little, I don't know, 30-second minute kind of comp videos, some of the cuts. And so I always joke, it was, we were COVID-19, this whole thing, and hopefully your channel doesn't get flagged for me saying that.
Oh, we try to get it flagged every single time.
Yeah.
Patrick has no problem in making sure we get all our flags.
Nice. The C19. So it was honestly I posted that, and then 19 minutes later, it was kind of an interesting thing. Bill Bafford reached out. He's just like, "Are you interested?" He heard that he loved it immediately. He was a big champion of it. So, and he has been since. So,
Yeah.
so it was really that quick. I said, "Let me think about it." So I checked out what they were doing, their stuff, and talked to him a few times, and we signed the dotted line, and
Nice.
there we go. Yeah.
And they're out here in California, I think is what Weapons of God
Yeah.
was telling us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rox Records.
But all the bands so far seem like they're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
they love
That's
them.
true.
They love them at a distance.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, them at an arm's distance.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they just like, I guess they like shipping things back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that keeps Aaron in business.
Yeah, I work for Big Brown. So
There you go.
how many dates you guys play in a year? I mean, are you guys going to get out on tour and kind of support the album?
Probably if we do anything, it'll be a one-off here and there. We both are very busy with our, jobs. I'm an IT manager for a university, and Courtney, you can.
I run a pretty large private school down just north of Atlanta.
So
I just
Ryan,
want to go ahead and point out. I just want to go ahead and point out that I want to say like 95% of musicians are freaking geniuses. I'm in that bottom 5%. But like Ryan there, and like my bass player Jamie. My bass player, he's a daggone IT engineer for all these petroleum plants here in
Nice.
Appalachia. He's the boss over 18. You're an IT tech. Just that brain. There's a certain level of intelligence that this kind of stuff takes. And so, I mean, it just blows my mind how people like Ryan and Jamie can do the stuff that they do, especially behind that soundboard to be listening to that song so many times, and you hear, well, I can't really hear the guitars popping right here in this one part when my dumb ears are sitting going, it sounds beautiful. I'm gonna go in and
There's a lot of
and
truth in
carve
that.
out a spot for these things, and I'm like, do what you do. I'll just
I appreciate it, and I doubt you're in the bottom 5%, but it's like,
No, don't
Yeah,
doubt it.
yeah, talk to me long enough there, Ryan. I'll confirm.
no, it's for Death of the Gunman, I mean, so we're pretty far past its release date at this point. If we do, we've talked about it a little bit, maybe some summer festival one-offs. That would be our time. He's off. You're pretty much off during the summer, or you have a lot of time. I have a lot of time built up too. So, but it's primarily us, and I'll use some studio guys to fill in. Like I said, for the new record, it'll be drums, and but everything else I'll play. But so that would require if I bring some guys in to teach them the part, all that kind of stuff, which could be done. But yeah, so it's tough. I mean, especially at this age, a little bit more so with families and responsibilities to get out and tour. So, but I do miss playing out live. I've been in a lot of groups over the years, playing. So,
You want to know what my secret is to touring with a family, Ryan?
What's that?
Is you just become such an irritant around the house. They want you gone for a day or two, maybe a week.
Get out of here.
I mean, actually, literally become like pepper spray in the house. And every time you walk into the room, they're like, "Oh, it's still you here."
Get out. That's funny.
I noticed Jermaine immediately laughed. Is that the same in your house, Jermaine?
Oh, absolutely. I am the annoying little gnat, the thorn in my wife's flesh. So it's so easy.
See, and it's not that way for me because it's right here in my home.
Yeah. It's like we're going to a show tonight. My wife's, I said, hey, I'm going to a show with Dave. She's like, goodbye. Not,
and
when are you going to be back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Are you guys finally hitting up that Backstreet concert?
Things long gone, dude.
Yes.
I was talking to my wife this morning about the New Kids on the Block convention in Chicago.
There's a convention. Nice.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I am not a fan. I must say up front, I am not a fan of the New Kids on the Block music. However,
what do you do at a New Kids convention?
See New Kids on the Block.
I don't even
Walk through the crowd like this.
they're not even new anymore. I mean,
yeah,
they are
kind of like the old dudes at the home.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the answer to this because I know they're NKOTB now.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's good to be an acronym. So, but I took my wife to see New Kids on the Block on their reunion tour. It was like 15 years ago. And, I was tasked with holding the camera and taking pictures all night, which is fine, whatever. I wasn't a big fan or anything, but I did say, wow, they're pretty talented on stage. I'm pretty entertained. And I will say, I will give this piece of advice to any man who is single and somewhere between 35 and 50. If you want to meet a nice girl, go to an NKOTB show.
See, fellas, the part of the story that he's not telling you is that when he got back to the house, he stood in front of his body mirror for like 3 weeks practicing his dance moves. But that's what he was going to do.
Is that true?
A year later.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to go on the cruise with my wife and know the dance moves.
No shame in that. No shame.
However, I do have video, and this is a fact. I do have video of Aaron dancing to New Kids on the Block.
Dude, that needs to be posted yesterday.
It's pretty good, man.
I need to see that.
I think it got deleted.
No, I've got a copy, and I'll put it up on the page.
Okay.
Now, if you follow the page, I'm not tagging everybody. If you follow the page, you'll see it. If not,
Facebook, Rock Salt Radio,
Facebook, Rock Salt. So,
Nice.
guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Enjoyed it.
enjoyable talking to you. Oh, hey, one quick question. Hey, Ryan, can you change the grades of the kids that are in Courtney's school?
In Courtney's school,
Yeah, since you're the IT guy and you know.
there's probably some ethical questions to be had there, but no comment.
Okay. I'm just saying if there was like a 15-year-old with $100.
Do your kids go to Courtney's school?
My kids, no,
Yeah.
no, his kids go to his school. Mine just
As they
graduated.
should.
I have one that graduated last year. She's
Okay.
almost 19, and then I have a 7-year-old who's in grade school. So
Oh, okay.
Sends kind of the wrong message though. If your kids aren't going to your school.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
definitely.
that'd be true.
And by the way, I mean that for public school teachers too. That's
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's a pretty strong message if you aren't sending your kids
You
to
can't
the
go
school
there.
where you teach.
I pulled my daughter out of the school where my wife teaches.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. This is a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
Is
It's-
it though?
Is it? I don't know. It's interesting if you want to open
I
up.
could give you
So
my
are-
professional opinion if you wanted to ask an administrator what, advice on that scenario, but yeah, it might be.
Hey, last week we had a 5th grade school teacher on too.
Yes.
I see a theme here.
Yes.
Ah,
And they're
Well,
all
we-
rockers.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time off. I mean, the good news is built into a calendar year. We have a lot of time off, and
You get
in
your summer break the
administration-
same time the summer tours start up.
right in administration, I can really take off anytime I want. So it works out really, really well. It's
Nice.
super convenient. Yeah.
Nice. All right, guys.
So
What?
I got a question, Dave. What do
Oh,
you want?
I didn't realize.
Like a
Please.
jockey on the back of the horse. Let's get out of here. Come on. So if we were to happen to make it to Georgia and you guys were available, would you guys want to play together? You guys come out and play?
yeah,
Yeah.
with enough notice,
Yeah.
we could work something up.
I'd
Hey,
have to
Mrs.
work out-
Robot, can Ryan come out and play?
Exactly.
They'll be back by 9.
No, I'm keeping
Be
you
back
out
by
all
the
night.
time the street lights come
9
on.
a.m.
I guess my follow-up question is, how late do I need to stay up? That'd be my follow-up question.
Yeah, he's an
Show
administrator.
starts at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I could probably pull that off.
yeah.
Well, if you
Have
ask
to be in
Aaron
bed
and,
by 9.
and Dave here, they know not to text me after 8 because I'm done.
And I always text after 8.
He does.
That's not going to
Yeah,
change,
but,
by
I
the way.
mean, What's that?
I expect
that was
nothing
for-
less.
Yeah, that was for Patrick. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Please,
No
Ryan.
comment. No, I was just saying, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I was mentioning earlier, with enough time and prep, we would definitely do. And I mean, a lot of groups have done that, are doing that now. Tourniquet back in the day, it would be a lot of, dates here and there. It's just hard to pull off a tour these days. But
Yeah, I get it.
if the right
Yeah.
financial situation came and we could step away from our day jobs, we may tour.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, I
book
told
your
the guys
tour.
we're not. Go ahead, Jermaine. I'm sorry.
I can book your tour. I've booked 2 tours so
Patrick, it just sounded like they
And it
told you
worked
they just
out.
want to be friends, man.
Hey,
No,
that's
no.
good. As a musician,
they
you're
would-
used to rejection, David.
That's the default answer, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, like everybody just wants to be friends in the music. No, well, we don't. We really love your music and we love the lead singer's voice, but we don't have any opportunities at the moment.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing new material in
Yeah.
the summer.
And where can they find you on all the socials?
Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram, Motivik Band. Find us there. Those are the main spots.
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp,
bit.
digital releases come out there. Rocksrecords.com if you're looking to pick up, physical copy, CD, vinyl.
Yeah, go buy the vinyl, everybody.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
do want to put this in there for people that are listening. Motivik, Motivik,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and Rocks Records. That's ROXX. It's a double
Yep.
X.
I think it's technically rocksproductions.com if I'm not mistaken. It would
There
be
is one of
Rocks.
those, but it is rocksrecordsnow.com. Yeah.
If
Okay.
you're interested in the vinyl, you need to go get it now. 'cause
There's
I
only
think-
20 some copies left
very
right
few
now.
Oh,
left.
go
So,
go snatch it up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a one run and done kind of thing. So
Well, go follow the band Motivik, go to a show, buy some merch, head over to the website, wherever you can get it. And as we always say, you know, hit the like and the follow, because that's how everything works nowadays, right? Got to have
Right.
those likes, got to have those follows, and bands survive off the merchandise. Go buy a shirt.
right.
Exactly.
Boom.
All right. Or a vinyl. There's not many left.
Yep.
Give one
Yep.
while you can.
Hey, we're gonna play
Good to
Inception
meet you
right here.
guys. Thanks for
The
having
one-
us.
Or a vinyl shirt.
Yeah.
What's that?
A vinyl shirt. I see. I got another idea for you guys.
Genius.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Like it.
You won't sweat too much in it. You should give it out with free deodorant.
We appreciate you guys inviting us on today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciation.
All right.
So
Yep.
Thank you guys.
It's the Rock Solid MUZKAST experience.